Hey, I'm Casey. Today, I am going to be going through the questions at the end of chapter 1 of Love People Use Things. As the chapters go on, Joshua writes so much about his mom. Look, do what you have to do to get through the day, man. But at the end of each chapter, Ryan comes in and gives us things to do. So, step 1, purchase a companion notebook for the exercises in this section. Check. I didn't buy it though, because I'm a minimalist. It's a notebook I already had. 2, find an accountability partner to join you in your journey. I've got a notebook. I've got companions. Let's do this together! Now, some of this is a little personal, obviously, so luckily you're not sharing it and you're not opening up your heart to the world for criticism. But I am. Let's go through the questions in chapter 1. Question 1. How much is enough for you and your household? Be specific. Amount of bedrooms, televisions, coats in the closet. Think closely about the things that actually add value to your life. I do not make it about the numbers. So I've been doing this for about a year. We did the men's game in February 2021. What year is it now? And we're really happy with how it turned out. So I really don't think about my belongings in terms of what is enough for us. It's about what actually gets used. It's about what we enjoy. But Dan and I are a newly married couple. It's affecting the way that we are continuing to grow our house. And as we think about buying a house in the near future, and as we think about starting our own family, this is a really great question to think about because obviously I'm not a parent yet, but a lot of stuff comes with kids. And so when I was answering this question, obviously I'm fine with the amount of coats I have. I think I have 4, which is, maybe too many for Joshua and Ryan, but it's enough for me. But I think my struggle is like the little things. For some reason, we have like 6 pairs of nail clippers for the 2 of us. Why? So when I think about what's enough, I have more than enough of some of those small things, so I'd like to adjust that. What's a normal amount of things for one person to own? Well, consumerist society would say 300,000 things per household. That's absurd. I probably have that many though. It's a hard question to answer. It's a big question. So that's wild. Question 2, what are you afraid of letting go of? Why? I have a hard time letting go of things that I've spent a lot of money on or that were given to me as like something I'm supposed to be a caretaker of. Since I don't exactly know where my money is coming from like on a daily basis, I don't have like a boss man giving me money. When I spend a lot of money on something, it's an investment for me or for my photography or for this. So if I end up getting rid of something, especially if it's like a piece of equipment that I sell for much less than what I bought it for, it feels like I didn't live up to some sort of expectation that I had for myself. So if I buy something that I spent a lot of money on or I get rid of something that someone gave me, it makes me feel ungrateful. It makes me feel wasteful. And those are 2 things that are the exact opposite of what my idea of a minimalist is. Somebody who is really resourceful, which is definitely somebody I want to be and who I try to be every day, but that doesn't always happen, obviously. But especially because money can be really tight, especially now during COVID, I want to try to use the things that I have and for as long as I possibly can. So I think I'm afraid to get rid of them because I don't want to be the person who's wasteful. Question 3, what is your freedom worth? What are you willing to give up to be free? So I'm definitely one of those creatives that likes rules. So freedom, in terms of what I think they mean by this, doesn't really appeal to me, and that's probably because I am incredibly privileged and I've always had freedom. So I understand that that's coming from a place of privilege. I guess since I've always been a freelancer, always been a photographer and an actor, I gave up the safety of a regular job and a regular settled income for the freedom to choose my own path. I set up those boundaries for myself really early. I've been able to collect that freedom. However, I really want to own a home and to make it comfortable and make it my own and have a little family in it and have a safe space for my cat. So I'm willing to give up the freedom of that money in order to fulfill that dream. Some people would consider that I'm trading the freedom of traveling the world or getting a doctorate for that kind of weight that a lot of people feel. But since it's one of my dreams, I don't really consider it losing any freedom. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. Come on. This is Otis. He's got an Instagram. You can follow him. Hi. So I don't know if I answered that question, but I don't take my freedom for granted. I don't want to take my freedom for granted. Question 4. What is the real cost, beyond the financial cost, of holding on to your possessions? Stress, anxiety, discontent. Holding on to possessions for me costs me like a mental clarity, and it shackles me with guilt. So when I am given things, pieces of furniture, or I'm given clothing, or I'm giving homeware things, I feel incredibly guilty getting rid of those things if they do not fit into my life. I hold on to guilt because I'm worried that if I get rid of those things, that the people who gave them to me will notice and be mad about it, which is, when you say it out loud, silly. But I don't want to make people upset. All I want to do is make people happy. It can be really kind of hard to let go of those things and open myself up for criticism, critique, or anger when it comes to the things that I'm the steward of, I guess. So the thing is, if I get rid of these things, am I opening myself up to trauma emotionally? Or is it an opportunity to let it all go and start fresh? I think that's probably the point. It's better out than in, right? Doesn't make it any less scary. But over the last year, I can say this being like having gone through the men's game, that I've gotten rid of a lot of things that people have given to me. And people who have come over to my house have not noticed, but they have noticed how much happier I am, how much freer and joyful and less anxious I am. So I'm gonna keep going down this journey for sure. Question 5. How will shedding the excess make room for a more meaningful and enjoyable life? Be specific. The clearer your vision, the more leverage you'll have while decluttering. The first thing I wrote down was, it means less cleaning, which is true. There's less straightening, right? It happens where you use stuff and it doesn't necessarily go back to the place that it came from. And so I end up spending the first 30 minutes of my day straightening my house. Less stuff means more time for the stillness that I've come to really enjoy over the last year, because I've been meditating since 2018, but have gotten like really crazy about it the last couple of years. And then I have a daily yoga practice now that is really important to me. And so if I have less stuff to manage, less stuff to clean, less stuff to repair, less stuff to replace, less stuff to organize, the more time I have for that stillness. Now, that stillness still scares me. That stillness still makes me feel like I'm not working hard enough, because I'm a millennial and hustle culture has been ingrained in us. If you're not moving at every moment of the day, it's hard not to feel like you're doing something wrong. But I have built a life for myself over the last year to where I don't have to work every single day. I don't have to be cleaning or cooking or doing laundry or partaking in some sort of chore or errand every second of every day. Not yet. I am sure that will come in the future. But I am enjoying the fact that I am 30 years old and I have stillness in my life, which I feel like is new to a lot of people. Less stuff means more of that makes me happy. I'm sure that can stress some people out, but for me, it's really nice. Now, the challenge for this is going to be, if and when we move into a larger house, not filling it up. Because we live in probably a 1,400 square foot house that we are currently renting, and it's got plenty of stuff in it. As you can see, I have quite a few books. I am trying to be a normal girl minimalist. I'm striving for a house that I like and that I live in with the things that I like, the things that bring me joy. So I think the struggle for the next couple of years is going to be, when we move, when we grow our family, not bringing in stuff mindlessly, so that I can remember this goal of having more peace and having more stillness in my life that I really, really enjoy. Okay, so those are the 5 questions that are specifically laid out. I don't really love how they laid out the Minimalist Rules for Living with Less in this book. Maybe it's just because I have the Kindle edition. It's kind of hard to follow. They're just kind of sprinkled in there, and so that was kind of tough. But they are a free downloadable PDF on their website. That was one of the first things I read when I started the men's game. Definitely be following some of those as I continue into the new year. But the ones that I love are the seasonality rule, 1 in, 10 out rule, the just in case for trips rule specifically, $30 for 30-day rule. So those are some of my favorite of their 16 rules, but go check out all of their rules because they're really, really great. And that PDF is really easy to follow. So if you have not decluttered your house before, the create your stuff budget seems incredibly difficult. One of the 16 rules that the minimalists have is the, no junk rule, which is great in theory. But me, as a 30-year-old white suburban woman, I have junk, but some of that junk brings me a lot of joy. I'm not going to be the person to tell you not to have any junk, because some of the stuff that other people would consider junk is for sure some of my favorite little things. Do this at your own risk. But if you have not decluttered ever before, it would definitely be a good idea to sit and be like, okay, what are the things that absolutely need to absolutely be in this room? Okay, what are some of the things that like I just like in this room? And then what are the things that definitely don't have to be in this room? If you do it, let me know how it goes, because this is impossible. Like, I can't imagine like going through my living room or going through my studio and being like, okay, what's essential? Well, nothing in my studio is essential, really. Following their definition of what essential is anyway. And then find your support. I found you. We found each other. We can do this. And then the don'ts of stuff. Obviously, don't expect to get rid of everything at once, for sure. There was a time the whole studio was just packed with boxes of stuff that I was getting rid of. A lot of it sold. A lot of it got donated to Goodwill. Some of it got thrown in the trash, unfortunately. But it doesn't all go away at once. So just be prepared for some piles. And then don't let others pressure you. The whole point of me starting to do these videos is that minimalism on YouTube can be kind of toxic. All of the videos are just beautiful little women in white button crotch Madewell jeans and drinking tea and watering plants in an all white apartment, or the guys are just in gray t-shirts talking about how to optimize your productivity. Y'all, if we are gonna save the planet and we are actually going to like put a stopper in this climate change thing, and we are gonna become more sustainable and more minimal and stop our consumerism nonsense, you gotta find the things that work for you. Hopefully I'll be able to help you do that and show you that minimalism can be a whole bookshelf. That's okay. You just have to be conscious about it. And just because we all love Marie Kondo and we all love the Home Edit, trust your girl. The Home Edit book is up there. It's like right there. It's not the best for confronting the relationship you have with your stuff, which is what this chapter's about. So don't just organize stuff. As much as we love all of those things, let's get rid of the stuff first, organize what's left. The likelihood is you really won't need all of the plastic bins if you have gotten rid of the things that you don't actually need and the things that you don't want. That's the priority for me. Okay, so that is chapter 1, activities for love people use things. I'm excited to do chapter 2. I'm excited to hear if anybody else is even doing this or if it's just psycho me. So let's all stick together and support each other and uplift each other, because it's tough out there, y'all. I'm here for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.